Okay, we're live. Hey, Tubies. I don't know if everybody's out there, but come join our broadcast tonight. This is Lord Bob, and we got with us,
Lady Angela.
and we are of the Order of the Purple Cord. We're a Wiccan order, and we welcome you to our broadcast tonight. It is so wonderful to be here. I tell you, Lady Angela, I think this is the first day in probably 2 weeks I've been able to go out without 10 layers of scarves on.
Really? I was looking at scarves because you like scarves and saw that yours you wear is cashmere or something, isn't it? Isn't it a very
Yes,
nice
it's
scarf?
from Scotland. It's a Scottish cashmere.
I like it. I really like it. So you're styling when you're dressed up for winter.
I like the best. I'm a little spoiled like that, you know. Oh my gosh. It looks like we got some people starting to
Yeah.
join us. All right. Welcome. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We are just so excited to be here. For those of you who are new, I'll just reintroduce myself because we're getting people in here. I am Lord Bob Hickman. I am a Wiccan high priest of the Order of the Purple Cord. I'm also a professional psychic medium. And I got with me tonight our high priestess of the Order of the Purple Cord, Lady Angela Riddle. And Lady Angela, would you like to introduce yourself and tell everybody about you, especially for the new people?
Sure. I'm Lady Angela Riddle McAllister. I own a website called rarewiccaspells.com, and I'm High Priestess of the Order of the Purple Cord. And I'm so happy to be here with all of you.
And we are just thrilled as a peach that you are here. Well, guys, so many of you have been coming out to our recent broadcasts, and we're really glad that you're here. You know, every week we gather, we try to have fun. You know, the witching hours in our show, and it's a time for those of us who love the craft, who love magic and Wicca and spirituality to gather together. And I hope, you know, wherever you guys are tonight, that you are having an awesome time. You know, Lady Angela and I and Lord Tony, unfortunately, let me tell you, Lord Tony is not going to be with us tonight. He's under the weather. I can believe it. With all this cold air, it's even seized my throat. He said he's lost his voice. I'm totally understand that. Lord Tony, if you're watching tonight, sending blessings to you, bud. Hope everything gets better. And Lady Angela, send some mojo your way.
Definitely.
So, you know, anyways, you know, one of the things I was going to tell you guys is, oh, you know, I haven't got my chat room going. Hold on a second. All right, well, bear with me, guys. We'll get the chat room going in a minute here. But, you know, one of the things that I wanted to say is that, you know, Lady Angela and I and Lord Tony, we always make this, you know, kind of like an exciting time. We dress up, we put on our best robes, and we try to, you know, really make this an event. And you know, we encourage all of you, you know, make this, if you love being part of the witching hour, it really is a time. It's almost like a coven gathering, isn't it, Lady Angela?
I agree. It's a wonderful atmosphere, and I'm glad you're all here, and I'm glad to be here, and I'm really looking forward to our questions in the chat box tonight and just see what happens, where it goes.
Absolutely. And, you know, as I was saying, as we're a coven gathering, you notice we're wearing our robes. Tonight I got to show off my new robe. Guys, you have to see this. It's hard to see here. I don't have a lot of room. But this is my new ceremonial Wiccan robe. And this was a beautiful Yule gift to me from one of our sisters of the Order of the Purple Cord. Her name is Sister Carol Pettis. And Carol said that I could give her name out tonight. But she got me a beautiful robe. It's done in the style of Harry Potter. And it's got the crest of Slytherin school here.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it's lined in satin. It's a full length, full bell sleeved. It's hard to see here.
Oh, how special.
Bell sleeve robe. I love it. This is my new ritual robe. I'm wearing it. I tell you, Lady Angela, you know, I'm set for this new year. I got a new book of shadows that you gave me. Now I got my new robe from Sister Carol. I tell you, we're styling.
Well, you're always styling, Bob.
Oh, but you know why I'm showing this? And Lady Angela, I want you to let them look at your robe too here. Because,
Okay.
you know, I encourage all you guys, when you gather, you might want to put on your robes, you know, since we're having a gathering of the coven.
That's true. That's a very good point. We could all gather and be together in this moment and wear our robes, and it just raises the vibration even more. Mine is a fun robe that I bought from Tina Joyner, actually, Capricorn Moon on Facebook. But I love it, and my favorite part's on the back.
Let's see.
The goddess. Can you see it?
That's beautiful. Stand up again if you can.
Okay.
Walk back a little bit if you got room.
Okay. Other way?
You have to keep talking or it cuts you off.
Oh, okay. Here's the robe. Can you see it? I love it. And it's purple for the Order of the Purple Cord. So I just love it. I hope you could see the goddess on the back.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Everybody says they could see it. Awesome. And of course, my purple cord.
Oh, you know what? I left my purple cord sitting over there. I was moving stuff around. Hold on, I got to get my purple cord.
Okay,
take over, ladies.
So we're excited for some questions in the chat box tonight, guys. What would you like me and Bob to talk about? I'm watching for questions now. Let's see here. Thank you guys all for saying they love our robes. Thank you all.
Thank you. I'm putting on my cord. This is my purple cord.
Oh, some people are saying we don't need a robe. We're naked in spirit. Laugh out loud. Yeah, you know, if it all depends on what raises your vibration. Some people do ritual in the nude, which is called sky clad, and that's exciting. And I think any kind of ritual, clothing or not clothing, whatever you do for ritual, it kind of flips a switch for you where you're from the mundane, everyday world. So all of a sudden, your triggers in your body know you're doing something sacred, and it just flips it and it gets your energy flowing more and more. So that's why magical clothing is beneficial and raises your vibration and makes you more effective with your magical workings. What's the connection to people and owls? Melinda Nevermind would like to know.
Well, you know, owls are a spirit animal that are really, well, let me put it this way. Owls represent wisdom. They represent the psychic self because they're night creatures.
The soul.
Not everybody has the owl as a totem. Some people have it, you know, so we can't say every single person works with the owl. But for many people in the psychic arts and sciences, owls are very significant.
I agree. I also think of them as being a symbol of the soul. A lot of times when they pop up in tarot cards, they're of wisdom and of the soul and of the otherworldly things because they are nocturnal and live at night. I had a powerful meditation once where I actually climbed the tree of life to the top and to the bottom and met my dark goddess and also my light goddess and my patron goddess and all that. And it was crazy because I was walking through a woods, and in the vision, in the meditation, a white owl appeared and kind of flew ahead of me and guided me through the path to get where I needed to go. And I never really connected with owls until then. So also now I see it as a guide. So
that's beautiful. Hi, Nico Let's from Sweden sends greetings. Hi, Nico. Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yep. Let's see here. See, owls, red-tailed hawks.
What's that, hon?
You see ravens all the time, don't you, Bob?
I do. I have a spirit connection to ravens. It's one of my totems. And it's interesting because I have the title Duke of Ravensworth as well as Baron of Ravensworth. And I've always had this connection to ravens, you know. And whenever I'm in danger, they really are guardians. Like if I have, you know, somebody stalking me, which I've had issues with that in the past, like I'll go in public and people will stalk me. A raven will literally fly and land at my feet like to block my path. Whenever he does that, I go a different way. And I always find out that it saved me from being in a bad situation. It's amazing. So you should really look, you know, to connect with the natural world, the totem spirit animals. They'll definitely help you. Now, everybody can have, you don't have to have a bird. You could have a, you know, a mouse as a totem or a dog or a cat or, you know, a chipmunk. A lot of people have a lot of different totems, but I happen to have ravens, and my mom has owls. You know, like owls seem to be throughout her whole life.
I agree. I have several totem animals, and they're just animals that became significant naturally without thought. You know, look around your house. If you're wondering, do you have a totem spirit? Look around your house and see what you decorate with. Some people decorate with little angel statues and don't even realize they have an angelic connection. Or maybe you decorate with dragons in your home naturally, and you have a connection with dragons. Just look around your home and see what kind of animals, your spirits you're drawn to, and you'd be surprised that, well, there it is, some of your totem animals.
Hi, Moonfade. Moonfade just jumped in and said, it's lovely that ravens protect you, Bob. You know what? I feel the same way. I feel very blessed by the ravens. I don't take them for granted, you know. But Lady Angela, you're absolutely right about look around your home, because many times the symbols will suddenly stare you in your face, you know.
Yep. We have to block somebody on there.
Oh, hold on.
Akasa.
I can't see what's going on. Who is that?
Akasa.
Okay, let me go back to that. Oops, I just lost him. He'll be back around. Oh, there's Tony. Hey, Tony. Lord Tony's in the chat, guys. He doesn't have a voice tonight. Tony, thanks for coming out. We miss you here tonight, but we're sending Mojo your way, okay? So I hope you're doing better. There's Lindy Benders here. Hi, Lindy's all the way from South Africa. Wow, she's up late tonight. It's like 2 in the morning over there. Here's a good question for us, Lady Angela. Do you guys have rituals you perform for the year? Excuse me, that's from Shelley Press. Shelley, I don't know if you mean as a coven or just individual. Maybe you can answer that. Lady Angela, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I actually do. Let me grab a special book of shadows. Hold on 1 second. I'll show you what I did.
Sure. Okay. Oh, there's Kira. Kira's sending greetings to Lord Tony. Thank you, Kira Hannaford Single.
I have a special book of shadows that what I keep in it are rituals I do all the time, such as new moon rituals, full moon rituals, new year rituals. And I have certain ones in here that I do perform each year. And it's a lot of casting away what no longer serves you from the year prior and accepting the opportunities that's soon to come. And I'd recommend in your book of shadows, that's the kind of stuff you want to collect there. You can find it elsewhere. You can write it in there. You can write it yourself. You could find it online and jot it in there just because it's a ritual that you want to perform that connects with you. So I would absolutely recommend you do a New Year's ritual for renewal and for casting out fear and welcoming in opportunity. There's a lot of rituals out there for it, or you could write your own, but certainly do it and do something of your own, and definitely do it because it will connect you with the new year.
Absolutely. I have to agree with you, Lady Angela, on that. I have what I call a purification ritual that I do at New Year. And if I have a New Year where I have snow on the ground, I take snow and bring it in a bowl, and I put it in a beautiful cut crystal bowl. And then I let it melt till it's water, and I dip my hands in it, and I anoint myself with the snow water as part of the new year of purifying myself.
That is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And then I also will burn white candles as a sign of new beginning.
Yep.
And that's a wonderful annual tradition anybody can do.
Yep. You offer several rituals like that in your Psychic Bob's Book of Spells book. You have some for blessing water and snow. And that's a very beautiful ritual. So
yes, thank you. Yes. I don't have that copy of the book here with me. But yes, you can go to my website. Forgot to tell you guys, for those of you who are new here, you may not know my website, robert-hickman.com. And that has a bookstore, and you can get my books there. In fact, I have, what do I call it? Well, after this video, I have a link in the box below for that, so you can see it.
Shadowlander has a question. They're asking us if we have any websites we could recommend to learn about merfolk and also about celestial witchcraft. I don't necessarily have websites to refer, but I would say get a hold of some books. You could look at thriftbooks.com and get some good quality used ones on specific topics. And also on Amazon, you could find great deals on books, new and used, and eBay too. So I would just type in the keywords merfolk or celestial witchcraft, and you will find books about them. So that's how we go and choose to learn of the craft, is from books primarily.
Yeah, and also, look up books on the Fae, because many fairy books also include sections on merfolk. So,
Mm-hmm.
don't discredit just because it says fairies on the cover. It may have merfolk in it as well.
Yep. Let's see. Burn Blessings asks what rituals we recommend for luck in general. I know I have lots of little lucky talismans and charms that I do. How about you, Bob? Do you have any certain things that you perform or do for luck?
Well, in terms of talismans, I always wear pentacles. I have them all over my house. They bring good luck to me as well as protection. In terms of what was the question? Rituals also, rituals or talismans? Mostly in terms of luck, I'm a talisman person. I don't really do rituals for luck per se. Because I feel like when I keep my house blessed and the energy high, I'm already in the stream of good luck. So, I think you have to find, I tell people, find a lucky charm, find something that talks to you. Like Lady Angela, one of my lucky charms is the wishbone.
Yes, me too. Yep.
I just love wishbones. I've always believed in them. Since I was a kid, I did the ritual breaking the wishbone. And I have wishbone charms. In fact, Lady Angela gave me a pendant. I don't have it here, but I have a wishbone pendant that I wear too from her. So yes, wishbone's one charm. There are a lot of things like they're traditional lucky charms, like rabbit's foot. I don't recommend rabbit's foot though, because I don't believe in violence. But like 4-leaf clover is a lucky charm. A witch, I have some pendants that have witches. Carrying this, there's an old tradition that says, wearing a witch as a charm is also a good luck charm. It's like your good luck witch. And in fact, in my kitchen, I hang a kitchen witch in my kitchen for good luck in the kitchen. Because for any of y'all who've been to my house, Psyche Bob in the kitchen is just waiting for a disaster to happen. Boiling water is dangerous for me.
Yeah. Certain stones, crystals, and gemstones have a vibration that draws luck and prosperity to them also. One of my main tricks for that is not tricks, but tools for drawing luck and prosperity, success, and happiness is images of the gods and goddesses that represent that, such as Lakshmi, such as Ganesha, the elephant god, for removing boundaries. But Lakshmi is all about fortune, love, success, beauty. And she also relates with Aphrodite, but different images. You can print an image, buy an image, or buy a statue and set up an altar to a god or goddess of prosperity and keep it clean and embellish it accordingly, and it will draw you luck in your home. Set up a money altar. It will work.
Absolutely. I just saw another chat question that went by. I didn't get the name, but somebody was asking if we could talk a little bit about Imbolc because it's coming up here.
Oh, yeah.
You want to say about Imbolc, Lady Angela? You have some really wonderful rituals pages and stuff on that, I think.
Oh, don't put me on the spot, Bob. You do this one.
What's that?
I said, don't put me on the spot. You answer this one.
Okay.
I drew a blank for a second.
That's all right. Well, Imbolc is the feast of milk. It's when calves start to be milked, or cows are milked for the calves, and newborn calves come in. That's the historical tradition. I myself kind of a different spin on Imbolc. For me, it's a time of the beginning of new life. Well, I guess that's part of Imbolc. I actually like to go out on Imbolc and look for little green sprouts coming up. It seems the last few years I've always had snow here on Imbolc. And interestingly, through the snow, I'll see a little blade of grass pop up or something. And I always like to go study the greenery that's emerging because Imbolc is just the very first hints. Usually in most places, at least in the northern hemisphere, Imbolc is still pretty cold. And it's interesting that the ancient pagans said, oh, it's the beginning of spring. And I thought, I don't see any spring. But it's a secret. The secret of Imbolc is that spring is hidden. And you have to be an observer of the Earth's energies to really see the power of Imbolc. Most people walk on and go, it looks like an ice storm. This is not the beginning of spring. But if you actually walk the Earth, this is what I do on Imbolc. I literally walk the Earth and I look very carefully. And you will start to see life emerging. And where most people wouldn't even see it.
Yep.
Go ahead, lady.
The goddesses that are represented by Imbolc is virgin goddesses, maiden goddesses like Venus, Diana, the maiden, the child goddess, Aradia, Athena, Inanna, Vesta, Gaia, the earth goddess. So those are some ideas for goddesses represented by Imbolc.
Yes. I happen to have a great veneration of Bridget, the Celtic goddess Bridget. And a lot of times on Imbolc, what I'll do is I'll set up an altar to her. And traditionally, the colors around Imbolc are like red and white and some green, mostly red and white because it's a fire festival. So usually a lot of times at Imbolc, people will set up red candles or white candles on their altar, to kind of welcome that warmth. It's like there's power just starting to build. And you'll notice that by Imbolc, the days are getting noticeably a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
Even in fact, today I was watching it around 5:15 today earlier. I realized that the sun was still up, whereas just a few weeks ago, it was already dark by that time. So our days are starting to get longer. And by the time we get to Imbolc, it'll be very noticeable that we're not getting dark as early.
Wow. Yeah, we got us some hater here, a sock puppet again. So I'm over here reporting them.
Can I block them or are you able to block them?
We both could.
I'll block them too. All right.
Yep. So somebody asked about if we discuss the Morrigan. Who is the Morrigan, Bob?
Oh, the Morrigan. Now, the Morrigan is actually, she is what I call, now this is my interpretation. I call her the Kali Ma of the West. For those of you who know about the goddess Kali, I have a great love of her. She's the dark goddess of the East, a fierce, powerful, dark goddess. Dark doesn't mean evil. It just means dark. And she is, in the West, is the goddess of darkness. She is sometimes portrayed as traveling with a flock of crows or ravens, and sometimes she will take the form of the raven. And but she's known as a kind of a war goddess and a protector and a goddess who guides people into the afterlife as well. Many dying soldiers invoke this goddess. And she would protect them in battle, and for those it was time to go, she would lead them on. And many people report that they see crows, around people right before they die, and it's believed to be her influence.
She's also a triple goddess unto herself, too, isn't she? We need to block another one.
I'm just seeing it. Yeah, we're going to block it.
Yeah, I also, Riverhawk, I also connect with Hecate as well. But, it's okay to have more than one. What's the word, Bob? Because we honor many saints, many gods, many goddesses.
Polytheistic.
Yeah, there we go. I get my tongue twisted up trying to say that.
We're polytheistic. Most of people in Wicca, I can't speak for all Wiccans. Many Wiccans tend to have a polytheistic view of the universe.
Yeah.
We believe that ultimately all of it goes back to one source, but that source takes many manifestations.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Let's see here.
Oh, okay. Ruth Baskin says Kali is her goddess. She loves Kali Ma. Jerry says Jerry loves Kali also.
I tell you what, in my book Invocations, Kali was one I made sure I had one in there first because you don't want to make her upset.
Kali Ma is powerful. But
I love Persephone too. I agree with Katie.
Yeah. What's that? Say it again. Persephone?
Oh, Persephone. I like Persephone.
Yeah, Persephone is very powerful. Absolutely. Bridget just asked me a question. Oops, I just lost it, Bridget. Let's see if I can get it back here.
She says she wants to practice hoodoo. What do you think?
Well, I'd say, get somebody to train you and really study it. Hoodoo is a very specific tradition. I have to block another person. It looks like Allahu Akbar Muslim. We don't have time for that stuff here. No. Hoodoo is a whole tradition in itself. It shares some similarities with Wicca, but it is not necessarily the same as Wicca. I like hoodoo. I incorporate some of it into my practices, and there are a number of books. There's a really good site if you want to get hoodoo studies, and you can join a forum. It's called the Mojo Company, Mystic. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it. I'm blanking out. The Lucky Mojo Company. That's it. LuckyMojo.com. If you go over there, they have hoodoo training because the lady that runs that site's a practitioner of hoodoo.
Huh. Very interesting. Boy, I wish I had time in my day to teach. We get so busy. You know, we're getting better at being more publicly with everybody, but it is tough, you know. Wouldn't it be just so luxurious to just be able to just teach full time? Boy, would that be great.
Oops, I got another one I got to block here. Sock puppets back.
Yes, Persephone is Demeter's daughter. Persephone, I love the story of her. I believe it was, she's the daughter of Demeter, and oh, was she beautiful. And Hades and Poseidon and Zeus, I believe it was, they were all three brothers, and something about they each drew a straw. And Hades ended up in the underworld, but part of he made a deal with Zeus so he could have Persephone. And she was a beautiful young girl, and she was out playing in the wheat field. And the earth just opened right up, and Hades reached out and got her and took her down there. And oh, how Demeter was so distraught and sad. And she wandered the world crying for her daughter. And Demeter's usually like a mother goddess of spring and an earth goddess that makes everything bloom. And because she was so sad and distraught for her daughter, the land turned into winter. And it has to do with for 9 months she went and she searched for her daughter until finally she made a deal with the other gods and goddesses, and they let her know where she was. And they made a deal that okay, she could come back to the top of the earth as long as she had not ate the food of the underworld. But Hades had tricked her and had offered her a pomegranate, and there's a specific number of seeds that she had eaten, and for that reason she was bound to 9 months up top and then 3 months down below in the underworld with Hades. But what I like about Persephone is a little bit of a twist about her, because it has to do with how some women, myself included at times, we're attracted to the wrong one, the one that nobody else thinks we should be with. And see, Persephone, she kind of liked being Hades' old lady, and she'd go underground, and she was the queen of the underworld. And the underworld isn't exactly how you would think. It's the spirit world, and she was the queen, and she was just on her pedestal there. And then she come back, and she was the good girl up top. So it also has that whole duality in it as well. And there's actually people say, "Oh, don't worry about her. She has a Persephone complex going on," which is whenever you're chasing after that bad one, and everybody's telling you not to be with them, but yet you kind of like it. So I like Persephone.
I love it. Haley Pritchard just asked a wonderful question. I have to agree, Lady Angela, that was a wonderful testimony on that goddess. And Haley just asked a question here I want to jump into. It says, I'm interested in doing rescue work. What is the best way to do this? Well, one of the things I always say when you're talking about doing rescue work with spirit is you have to have a calling to do that work. It's not something you joke around with or do lightly, because souls are literally in the balance. So if you're somebody who's timid of working with spirits, rescue work won't be for you. But if you're somebody who, like Angela and I, tread where angels dare to go, rescue work is good for you. But actually, it doesn't have to be that terrifying. But rescue work, one of the things I say is when you want to start to do rescue work, you have to start with a place of compassion. Souls get trapped, they get in horrifying circumstances. Imagine if you, well, let me give you an example of this. Imagine if you had to relive your death. Let's say you were murdered and you had to relive the last 2 minutes of your life perpetually over and over and over. That terror. And you got so stuck and you couldn't get out. This is what rescue does. Rescue work goes in and it frees people out of that. I think to do rescue work, it's important that that you have a real understanding of how the soul works. So you need to understand, I believe the spiritualist movement, and I come from a spiritualist background, really does the best amount of work in teaching about soul journeying. Not that Wicca doesn't, but spiritualism has it down to a way that a lot of other faiths don't. So I think reading spiritualist literature is a good way to understand the soul. Many spiritualist books, especially the older ones, have seance accounts written in them, and you can hear how the mediums interacted with spirits, which will give you an understanding of how that communication looks like. There are a lot of ways to do rescue work. You can literally go to haunted houses. A lot of times haunted houses are souls that are literally trapped, most all the time. You know, there's a common myth that everything's a demon in a haunted. It's not really. I've only found one haunted house in all my years that really had a demonic presence. So most haunted houses are just souls that are trapped. So you want to decide how you want to work. Do you need to go in person? Are you somebody who likes physically being on the location, or do you want to work another way? Like last night, we did Ouija board. That's another way you can work with the trapped souls. And many times, a lot of psychics that do this work will go walking through cemeteries, because a lot of cemeteries, believe it or not, they actually are haunted. um, but that's because that's the souls who get so attached to their material body they can't let go of it. So there are a lot of areas where you can go to begin that. One of the things that I would encourage you to do if you want to do rescue work, get a recorder, like your phone with a digital recorder or a special recorder, and try to capture EVPs. That means electronic voice phenomena. That will help you to begin a dialogue with spirit. And many spirits will be drawn to you, because if you're sincerely doing this work and you're really focused on it, you will draw the souls to you. But you have to be a person of wisdom and compassion.
That's fascinating. The Lost Scotsman 0000 has a great question. He says, when you go to the other side, can you work to help the living? And what does the afterlife look like?
Oh, hold on, I got to block another person.
Yeah, he's back.
We got people with threats in here. You know, Sock Puppet, I can have you sued for harassment. Don't test me. You'll find out my power. Say the question again, Angela. I'm so sorry. I got distracted.
Sure. And thank you for blocking that person. I tried, it didn't do. But the Lost Scotsman wants to know, it's a great question. When you go to the other side, can you work to help the living? And what does the afterlife look like?
Yes, actually, many souls are pressed into service as spirit guides. So, yes, the dead do help the living. The other side, from what I've understood, and I myself have been there, I had a near-death experience. I can only speak to my experience and what I've been told. The afterlife is whatever you are ready to receive. For some people, you know, to go over because they have a big trauma and they have to adjust, they'll bring them to the most beautiful setting. It'll be like a field with flowers. For some people, it's like going to their favorite beach. For others, it's being in the presence of the light. When I had a car accident that I died in several years ago, I literally floated out of my body and I was instantly in a tunnel of light. And I remember going into this light and I was greeted by people who were standing around this being of light, God, the goddess, God, the divine. I don't even like the word God, it's bigger than that. But this being of light was pure love and talked to me. I know that had I stayed longer, I would have seen more. I would have been able to see the buildings. I had a sense that there was entire, like literally city over there where I was, though I couldn't see it because the light was so bright. But many people report that once they go beyond that light, they can see beings, people, houses. You know, really, if you look around the earth world, everything that's here exists over there, except that it's in a rarefied state, much finer, much more beautiful. There's no corruption there. Everything is pure and bright and clean and pure. You don't see like rust there and decay. It doesn't exist in that realm. And there's a sense of timelessness, like everything's the eternal now. So you could stay in the light for 1,000,000 years and it would be like 5 minutes.
That's
Mm-hmm. I hope that answers that.
Queen Adine, is that mine making me echo or yours?
No, it might be yours.
Queen Adine says she used to be scared of the Ouija board until she saw you using it. And now she's thinking about getting one. You have a book about using the Ouija board, don't you, Bob? To help maybe guide?
Yes, I do. In fact, here's my book. You guys can get this over at my website, Ouija Mysteries, the Spirit Board Seances. In fact, in the back, I have an addendum, or what do you call it, appendix, that talks about how to use the Ouija board safely. This gives instructions. and it gives examples of spirit communication that have come through the Ouija board. And this whole book talks about working with the board and my experiences. So this would be a great place to start, I recommend.
I think so.
Yeah, and we got another.
Yeah, JG says, Bob, since Hecate and Kali are dark goddesses, is Isis a dark goddess with the story of Amun-Ra?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I just got to block somebody.
Yeah, they were asking about, is Isis also a dark goddess?
Yes, she has that aspect. Yes. Isis has, and in fact, I did a video this week on working with the Dark Mother. And in that, I showed Our Lady of Sorrows, who I believe is also another aspect of Virgin Mary.
Yes.
Or aspect of Isis. Isis has a dark goddess aspect because when she was in mourning for Osiris, she draped herself in black veils and was considered a form of the dark goddess because she had a lot of rage towards her husband being murdered. And she went out like literally and combed the whole world to save him and to find out who did it. And so she's a very powerful, fierce aspect as well that a lot of people don't talk about. So yes, yeah. Isis does have that aspect.
And she has aspects as being maiden, mother, and crone. Isis is the goddess of 10,000 names, you know. So Isalil Williams has a great question. I thought it was, do you know your mission on Earth, Bob? But actually they were wanting to know, do you know their mission on Earth? Thanks for your answer, gratitude. I thought it was they were asking your mission.
Okay.
What about chaos magic?
Well, they have a healer theme around them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Opinions on chaos magic. I believe chaos magic has to do with grabbing from what's available around you right there in the moment and making it work in a positive way to make magic. What do you think, Bob?
I agree. You know, on the surface, the first time I heard of chaos magic, I thought it was something evil. But as I got into looking at it, it's actually a kind of a radicalized form of magical practice. It's not something that I prefer to do because I'm a little more traditional. That's just me, and I'm not knocking people to do that. But like, for example, chaos magic would say you could invoke Superman as your god, even though he's a fictional character, that your consciousness can draw the power off of that archetype. And so some people that do chaos magic will have an altar with Superman as their god. And that can be done. You know, it's a little more radical, you know.
CAP says they don't want their job anymore. Can you give them any advice about that?
Yeah. Normally we don't do private readings.
Yeah.
So I just, I'm trying to tell you, for those of you who are new, if you want to do private questions like that, that's what we do on Tuesday on Messages from the Spirit World. So I'm going to reserve comment right now. I hope you understand. Because we're trying to teach more on Wicca tonight rather than individual. So please don't be offended. But if you want to send me that, I'll put it in Messages on Tuesday this week.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for understanding.
Ms. Marie says she likes learning spells and magic, but doesn't want to wear a cape. You don't have to wear a cape. You don't have to wear a pointed hat. You can wear whatever you feel comfortable with.
Absolutely. I agree with Lady Angela. We wear these things because we enjoy them. But you don't have to do it. You can do magic just in regular street clothes. And many times, and Lady Angela, you've had it too, where you've got to get something together for a spell right away, and you do it right in your kitchen in your regular clothes.
Yes, absolutely. You're going to have to block one other person on here. I thought we did a minute ago. Their name starts with an A.
Okay.
I think you know who.
Okay. Hold on a second. I'll get that. Oops, I just lost it. All right, hold on. Oops, I'll get him in a second. Sorry, keep going, Lady Angela.
Yeah. One of the easiest ways for people to feel their own power and to grow their power and work with their power is a very simple practice. If you take your hands and you hold them close together and you concentrate your breathing and you concentrate to feel the vibration of waves between your hand, you can actually feel your power. You can grow it, you can shrink it, you can toss it. If you have a friend or a partner, you could practice tossing it back and forth or projecting it and having them feel what part of their body that energy ball hit. Those are some really fun ways to work with your power and build your energy as well, and to practice sending it.
Absolutely. Magic really is within us. And this is something that many of us forget. It's nice to have all the props and the tools and the robes and all the stuff, but really the magic comes from within. My brother, who I don't think you guys have met, but he's wonderful. I may have him on as a guest one week. I think that'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
My brother has the ability to cast spells with nothing but his mind. And he's been able to bring about change by super intense focus. He can look at a situation and intervene and change reality. It's amazing how he does it.
Yeah. Which could also be a form of chaos magic or instant magic, using your will and projecting it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
somebody once said that magic, like we do, the witchcraft, is prayer with props. I kind of like that. Yep. I think there's truth to that,
Yeah, I like it. Do we believe in palm reading?
Darlene Weinbrenner's here. Hi, Darlene. She says hello.
Right on. Now you made me lose the spot. Okay.
Sorry about that.
I think it's Icking or Inking 456 asked, do we believe in palm reading? I believe in palm reading. I believe that your life sculpts your hands and all the scars and lines and roughness and not of your hands, and the ability to be able to look at that and to divine using it and to get readings using it. I think it's absolutely real. I don't know all the meanings by heart. I have charts that I can look at to try and read it. You could get charts too and books all about it, but I do believe that there's truth in it and power in palm reading. How about you, Bob?
Oh, yes. Palm reading is, and what you said is absolutely accurate about that life sculpts your hands. An experiment that you can do to prove this. Some people say, oh, your lines don't tell you anything. Make a Xerox of your palm, right? Scan your hand, and then a year later or 2 years later, make another scan and put them next to each other. You'll see subtle changes in the lines. And a palmistry, palmist will see that. Somebody's using my name here.
Yeah, I've been over here reporting them.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. That's done with that.
Good deal.
Okay. So, but no, palmistry is real, guys. I'm sorry for the trolls tonight. It's just the world we live in.
Yep.
Can you speak? Go ahead.
Sorry, Bob. Proud Pagan says, would you speak briefly on a year and a day, and what is that?
That's what I was going to ask you about. Thank you. That was great. That's the same question I was going to. We're on the same wavelength there. Well, year and a day is the Wiccan tradition that, Wicca is, a lot of people criticize Wicca because they say, well, people just put on a robe and call themselves a witch. No. If you're really practicing the craft, we have kind of a standard to actually be called a witch and to really embrace that and to be recognized does require a year and a day of study. And you can do that either with a teacher or on your own. But to really embrace the craft, we ask, and the craft, I should say, not just us, but the craft asks people to take a full year and 1 day and walk through the cycle of the year, learn the moons, learn the Sabbats, live the energy of the year, come to know the earth, its cycles, its seasons, learn about yourself. And then after that year, if you are called to the craft, you will really know it. And it's a really great test because I've known people who've gotten into Wicca, and then about 3 months in, they said, this is not for me. It's too intense or too much work, and they bail. And that's okay. We don't care if people leave, but we'd rather people leave than commit themselves when they're not ready. And so a year and a day is valuable like that. Anything you want to say?
Also, Wiccans, if you've heard the term hand fasting, it's kind of similar to getting married but not getting married, where a guy and a girl or just a couple come together, they want to be together, And there's a ceremony. It's similar to a marriage ceremony, but it's not a marriage. You're being hand fasted, tied together, and it lasts for a whole year and a day. And should the couple stay together happy and in love, then after a year and a day, they would be allowed to marry. So that's another thing. And it's funny you said, because some people get in and realize there's a lot of work to it and they want out. So I bet you a lot of weddings would maybe last longer if we all had that year and a day trial period first.
I
Anyways.
agree. I have to agree. The Wiccan, and it's a separate subject, but I think the Wiccan hand fasting is a great way to do things. I think it does help the pagan community. And, I think, I really cannot underrate, highly overrate doing a year and a day. I did a year and a day, and it changed my life, because during that time, you really are forced to face your shadow self. You're forced to really go deep to what's bringing you to this point in your life. There's a lot of healing that occurs during the year a day. There's a lot of release of past patterns, and there's a real opportunity to discover your power. I think that's one of the things that I learned was that I actually have power. Did you have that experience during your year and a day, your first year, Lady Angela?
Absolutely. There's a lot of soul searching that goes on throughout it, and a lot of very big, for lack of a better word, aha moments where you just grow in spirit, you grow as a person. And like you said, getting in touch with your shadow self, that bonding that takes place, words really can't explain it, but it's very empowering. And it isn't a flimsy little thing that you do. It's very important and powerful. So Toasty Mornings has a great question. What exactly is the difference between pagan and Wiccan? Are they the same thing?
Well, no, not exactly. Pagan is a what's the word? A larger group. Paganism encompasses many religions or sects of the religion. Paganism would be equivalent like saying Christianity. Okay, but within Christianity, you have Baptist, you have Catholic, you have Presbyterian. There are different branches. And under paganism, you can have Wiccan, Asatru, Druids, heathenry. So they're all different faiths under that overall arching canopy.
Paganism, in my words, would be it's the old religion that was before Christianity. It was the way of the townsfolk. It was the way of the villages. It was the way that we knew and we recognized and honored the cycles of the moon, the coming of the seasons, the movement of the year and the days. And it was of a time where all we knew was nature. We didn't know what was taught. We didn't have a Bible then. We didn't have people preaching at us, and Christianity wasn't around. It was the old ways. And like Bob said, there's different branches of it. There were the Celts, there were the Druids, there were the Wiccan is a branch of that, where we practice the do what you will, harm none, and the certain ceremonies and practices and beliefs that we have all fall underneath the Wiccan heading. That's how I would explain it, in my words.
I think that's true. Wicca, not to shatter anybody's illusion, but, a lot of people run around saying Wicca is an ancient religion. Wicca, as we practice it today, is actually a more modern religion, but it draws from traditions that are ancient. Mm-hmm. So there are no unbroken coven lineages that go back thousands of years in Wicca. Gerald Gardner is one of the founding fathers of it. What's the word I want to say? I don't want to say he started it, but he continued it. There were covens in England that were quite old, but he brought it into the more modern mainstream.
I think it had to do with they wrote it down. It was a verbal custom for a long time. And then when he got into it with Doreen, wasn't it? They finally wrote it down and made it something to be shared bigger.
Absolutely. I have a great love, by the way, for Doreen Virtue. And I recommend that anybody, you want to kind of get a sense of British witchcraft, read her books. Because much of what we practice here in North America, for those of you know, I know we have people all over the world, but like we have a large following in North America. Our witchcraft in North America draws largely off British witchcraft. And Doreen Virtue writes a lot on that.
Was it Virtue or Valiente? I always get
Oh,
them
Valiant.
confused. Yeah.
Valiente.
Doreen
I do this.
Valiente.
We both do this. We call them each other's name. Doreen Valiente. 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 That's sorry. Thank you guys. Virtue.
Yeah.
Doreen Virtue also writes books as well. But that's a whole different
That's a whole
author.
other story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shadowlander, this is a wonderful one for you, Bob. They said that they're writing a book right now. They're about halfway done. And if you have any publishing company suggestions, and we encourage you all to get out there and create books. And I know you know a good place, Bob.
Well, I have my books published through. It's called lulupress.com. Just go Lulu. I think it's just lulu.com. I'll have to check. But that's who I have all my books published through. Um, you know, it's really great because they give you so much creative control. You design your own look, your own cover. They help you set up your store, your distribution. They handle the finances. I really recommend Lulu. They've been with me for over 10 years now. And, the wonderful thing is once you have a book, it travels, forever. And your words are out there and you're helping people. And, when you're published, also, you'll get royalty checks. And I don't mean to sound materialistic, but it does help pay the bills. So, I do count on book sales. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's bought my books in the past,
The Lost Scotsman has a wonderful question. What can you say anything about the very rare blue moon?
Oh, yes. Well, we have a few blue moons coming. One will be the end of this month in January, and we're going to have another one in March. Blue moon is when you have two full moons in the same calendar month. The second one's called the blue moon because it's a rare event. But, I've said that the blue moon is also a time of great power because it means like things are being illuminated again. So like whatever was highlighted earlier in the month, it's time to come back and revisit that. So I would always say use the blue moon as a time to kind of revisit spells that mean a little more power, a little enhancement. Wonderful like that. And, interestingly, the blue moon actually is not blue generally.
Right.
But I have to be honest, there was one time where I was going to a blue moon ritual. And as I walked in my house, I looked up and I swear to you, the moon was literally bluish tint. And I had somebody with me who saw it too. So I thought, well, maybe there's something to this, calling it the blue moon. I only seen it once, but I've never forgotten it.
Funny, I remember a year my mother, for whatever reason, she never heard of what a blue moon was. And she wasn't pagan or anything, but she was looking forward to this blue moon. She had this big special hopes about it being big and giant and blue, and she was all about it. And nobody told her different. It was kind of like a joke we were playing on account of she thought it was going to be blue. And boy, it come up, boy, was she surprised.
Oh.
Moonfae wants to know if we can recommend any tarot decks.
Well, tarot decks are really a very personal thing. You have to really have one that speaks to you. Now, hold on. Where did I put my cards? Hold on a second. I'm a big fan of the classic Rider-Waite deck. This is the one you see a lot. Mm-hmm. Some people like this, some don't. I just relate to this deck. It's the classic. It's the first I learned. And I've tried other decks, but this one talks to me and has the classic cards of the four suits.
Yep. My favorite deck is the Witch's Tarot is my favorite deck, and I work with many Oracle decks too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Oracle decks also are an option as well. I have one called the Wicca Oracle, which is also very good. So yeah, I think you have to really decks, and I think you'll agree, Lady Angel. You have to try them out. You can't just go because somebody says do it. Mm-hmm. You really have to sort them out. But I recommend the ones we talk about are worth looking into.
And I sometimes enjoy going here on YouTube and I'll actually search up in the search box tarot deck or oracle deck reviews. And there's a lot of wonderful videos out there from people that show you different decks and tell you what they've thought of them. And it's a really good way to discover new decks and find some that really speak to you. That's how I found several of my oracle decks and purchased them and love them. And every now and then you'll get a deck
Go ahead. Yep. Sorry.
Oh, you'll get a deck that you don't connect with. This has happened to me a couple of times. I hang on to them, and eventually I guarantee you, you will run into somebody that you can give it to them, and it just speaks to them. And that's always a wonderful feeling.
Absolutely. I love tarot. I think tarot is powerful. It's not only can you read with tarot, tarot can be a tool, a doorway to the astral realm.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
I just had to block somebody. Hold on a second. Okay.
I'll tell you about a tarot deck I'm really excited to be getting. It was on Amazon. Now, I'm crazy about Alice in Wonderland. And there's a new Alice in Wonderland tarot deck. It's not yet released. It's coming out in April, and it's available on Amazon. I reserved a copy of it, and I'm so excited. It was only like 20-something bucks, and I have to wait until April to get it. But I really can't wait for that. So, woo!
That's exciting. Yay!
Oh, it is. It is.
Well, you're gonna have to bring it here and show it to us, you know.
Oh, I know. And you know, guys, if you have a program you could recommend, I used to use Movie Maker to make videos for on my Witchy channel, but Movie Maker's not available anymore on Windows 10 and up. And so I've been trying to find a replacement program that'll make use of my webcam to get back making videos on my channel. So if you want to see some more videos, maybe give me a suggestion of a program.
And I'll take that as well, because I'm trying to get back to the old style where I had editing, much more editing capability.
Yeah.
If you
Kimberly
guys
B.
are simple. What's that?
Kimberly B asked about that I'm confused about what the devil card means. No, the devil card is not bad necessarily. It's confronting your shadow self, the ties that bind you, the things that hold you back that you allow them to, the things that feed that inner thing of you. It's that. How would you explain it, Bob?
Yeah, the devil is like Angela said, that which binds you. A lot of times when I see the devil card, for me, when I do a reading, if I use the cards, it indicates that there's an addictive issue as well. Like you could be addicted to love, to sex, to power, to money, to drugs, to alcohol. It doesn't just mean drugs. It can be any type of addiction. And like you said, it's that which controls you. In fact, I'm looking for the devil card while we talk. But I definitely recommend that, you know, if you see the devil card, don't run out and say, oh, somebody's possessed. It doesn't mean that.
No, it doesn't.
You know, so it's not a, here it is. Here's the devil card. And what's interesting is if you look at this card, that's some glare there, you'll see how the people are chained. That can be like chained to a person, chained to your control of somebody, or chained to others' control. It's a sign of being disempowered. You're being disempowered in some way. So if you get that card, especially if you do readings for yourself, it's a great time to say, where am I giving up my power? Who am I giving up to, or what am I giving it up to?
Yep. That's a wonderful meaning of it. Yep.
Love that question. Oops, there's some more. We got a lot of questions here tonight.
Yep.
Queen Nadine saying good night to us. Thank you, Queen Nadine, for being here. Love you, darling.
And Dawn Chance, I have to agree with you. She gives her interpretation of it, and it's about reaching goals. Where was the other part of what she said? But the people don't want to break free. That's kind of like that story I gave you a little while ago about like Persephone. You know, she would go into the underworld, and everybody thought, oh, you know, that's terrible. Poor her, poor her. But yet she loved it when she was there. You know, a lot of people that drink or do drugs, that might be that which holds them back. But again and again, they go to it because it feeds that need in them. It binds them, but they allow it to.
I agree. Jamie Giselle's just asked a good question. They said, what exactly do you do after you build your altar?
Oh, I do a blessing ritual. And as I'm building it, I cleanse them with a cloth that has some herbal cleansing soap in it, a really good one. I spray it with that. I set it up. I'll light an incense. I'll light a candle, and I break open my book of shadows. Each of my book of shadows, the first thing I write is my altar blessing and dedication to the god and goddess. How about you, Bob?
Actually, I do a similar thing. I like to do what's called fumigation of my altar in my altar room. So I will get like a big pot of incense. I'll use the charcoal-based incense for this, you know, where you sprinkle it on the coals. It creates a amount of
sensor.
smoke.
Yep.
Yeah, I fumigate the whole altar with that. I have a swinging censer like the Catholic Church uses, and I'll go through around the altar and through the whole room. And that's one of my ways I purify it.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. But also, once you set up your altar, the thing that you want to do is start working at it right away. Don't just leave it there and make an altar and then let it sit a month. Every day, visit it, build up the power. Altars hold power.
Yes.
But they only hold power as much as you put energy into them. So I recommend that.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, that's a good question. So
that was a good question.
Yeah. I'm sorry, hold on, I can't see. I can't read without my glasses. This text is too small. Get old, what can I say?
We've had some great questions in the box tonight. I've really enjoyed it, but where has the hour gone, Bob?
I just realized what time was. I don't know where the hour goes, but I have to tell you, we have such a good time. And I hope you guys have had a good time with us tonight. We're trying to get in as many questions as we can. But I am thankful that you're here. And, I have to show you something real quick before we go tonight. Carol Pettis, who brought me this beautiful robe as a yoga, also made something that's just amazing. Talking about altar supplies. This beautiful box, she custom made it. And
wow.
inside of it is a handmade wand.
Oh, wow.
And look at this beautiful wand. Carol, I love this one. I had to show it here tonight to everybody.
Oh, my God.
It's all done it's hand carved and hand designed. And it's got a crystal at the top. And it's got copper spirals on it. And it's
wow.
It's got vines, like green vines wrapped around it.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that lovely?
It's gorgeous.
So I tell you, isn't that wonderful? So I tell you, I'm all set for the new year. I really am. Carol, I love it. Thank you so much for your wonderful presents. They're really treasured.
I love it too. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, guys, I'm so glad you're here. Listen, make sure to keep it here at Spirit Channel. Also, want you to go over to Lady Angela's channel at Rare Wicca Spells. Or what's the name of your channel, ladies? I can never get the name right.
It's you can find me under Angela McAllister, or just type in Rare Wicca Spells and it'll pop up. And I got quite a few videos there as well, and I'll be having some new ones coming real soon. So keep an eye out for those, and be sure to watch Bob. He has a whole weekly schedule of videos. He does a video nearly every single day, a big variety. It's a lot of fun. What all videos do you do on your channel? What's your lineup?
Oh, my goodness. Well, yes, for those of you who want to explore the spirit, every day we have something. So here's our rundown. On Monday, which is tomorrow, we're going to have horoscopes. Every Monday, I cover all 12 zodiacs as I give you a snapshot overview of what's going on that week astrologically in each 12 zodiac signs, a horoscope. So everybody watches that video, you get your own private horoscope, okay? So be there. So that's Monday. Tuesday, we do messages from the spirit world. This is where you can ask me personal questions about your journey, and I will answer and do little mini psychic readings. So for those of you tonight who I said I'm not taking questions, please, I'm not being offensive, but that's really what I do on Tuesday, okay? Yep. Wednesday, we got Wiccan Wednesday, where we cover an aspect of the craft and of magic. Thursday, we've got Vlog Thursday. It's usually I go out into the community. Maybe I'll go to a sacred spot or visit a haunted house or just go to lunch. It's just a day to hang out with me and see what's out there. Then Friday, we've got UFO Friday, where we talk about UFO phenomena that's going on all over the world. And then Saturday, we've got our Saturday night seance. And this week, we had this yesterday, and we had a Ouija board seance. So if you didn't see that, it's in the queue right before this. And here it is Sunday, and we are at the witching hour. So we had the witching hour on Sunday. So every day of the week, you can come to my channel and get some spiritual lessons, some nourishment for your soul. And Lady Angela, can I show you something else I've got before we go?
Yes, sure.
I'm working on another experiment.
Oh boy.
Well, for those of you who follow, oops, I'm knocking everything off my table. Follow me. You know that I'm always exploring the world of spirit. I'm going to show you a treasure that I have here. I don't know if you guys can see this.
Wow. What is that?
This is an old radio from 1950, and it's got vacuum tubes literally in the back. And I found that there's a form of mediumship where they use old radios to channel in spirit voices. And we're going to use this radio in the coming weeks in a seance environment to explore spirit communication through the radio. Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's super cool. It reminds me of an old ham radio.
Uh-huh. So
That's
yes,
cool.
it's from 1950. It's a classic vintage piece. And I've tuned it in already. And you know what? It's amazing. It has the original vacuum tubes in the back. I can't open it right now, but it like glows and hums and warms up like you see in the movies, the old radios.
Oh,
It's
that's
still
cool.
got
That's
the
cool.
never been changed. So we're going to use that in an
Now,
experiment soon.
now, how, if a lot of people want to have personal readings with you, how can they get a hold of you to get a full 1 hour personal reading with you?
Sure. What you want to do to have a private session with me is visit my website, robert-hickman.com. I'll put the link below. That has all the info about my life, my work, my readings. If you've already decided that you want to go right now and book a reading, you can also just shoot me an email at readings@robert-hickman.com. Again, that will be in the box below this video. And we will get that and we'll get you on the schedule. Now, I am getting a lot of requests right now. So, but go ahead and, write to me. You may have to wait a few days to get in, but we will get you on. And for those of you who've been trying to reach me by phone, I do have an office you can call as well, but we have had problems there. But I'll give you my office number as well, which is 571-483-2112. And you can call me there as well and get on the schedule. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And also on your contact page at your website. So, and don't forget to visit my website, rarewiccaspells.com.
That's where I was going next. You guys have to go to see rarewiccaspells.com. Now, if you can't remember that, because we all blank out, if you go to my website, it has a link to Lady Angela in my contacts also, in links pages. But definitely go to rarewiccaspells.com. This is a great way for those of you trying to set up altars. You can get ritual supplies there. You get incense. You can get altar cloths. You can get pentacles. Everything that you need to do your craft, Lady Angela has. So I definitely recommend it. I buy all my stuff there. And, it's been an invaluable resource for me over the years. So I definitely recommend it.
Use a coupon code. Coupon code Spirit Channel, and you'll save money on every order. So give it a go. I loved it tonight.
All one word. And that's your coupon code. Lady Angela will apply a discount to you. And so if you're a member of my channel, which is called Spirit Channel, you get a discount. So definitely use that code. So let us know that you're part of our scene. We'll give you a discount.
Yep. I've had a lot of fun tonight. We had a lot of great questions. I can't wait till next week, Bob.
Oh, I'm so excited. Well, guys, I hope you're going to be here. Every Sunday we do this, the witching hour at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then whatever time zone in between. We have a lot of viewers from England and also South Africa and Europe. And for you guys, I know you're staying up to 1 and 2 in the morning. I want to say thank you. Special shout out, because I think that takes a lot of dedication. We welcome all of you. So the world over, you can join our channel and be part of our scene here. And I hope that, you will really take the time and explore the things we talk about here. Explore your altars, explore your magic, live the craft. The craft is meant to be lived. Don't you agree, Lady Angela?
I very much agree. And wanted to wish everybody many bright blessings until next week.
I agree. Thank you so much. Well, guys, listen, we're going to sign off. I love you guys. Sending blessings to you. Lord Tony, thanks for being here. I hope Tony will be with us next week. We miss you, Tony, but love and blessings to you as well.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, we're signing off, and we'll see you next week at 8 p.m. Eastern U.S. time for the Witching Hour. Blessed be.